Well, we welcome you back to the Convocation Center in Harrisonburg, Virginia. Tie ball game, 57-all with under 8 minutes to play. And obviously the most recent development could be a very serious one for the JMU Dukes. Charles Cook being looked at currently by the staff, the medical athletic training staff, and he turned that ankle we saw. Kind of the same injury that I think Carl Baptiste had earlier on. Baptiste also out still for Delaware. Haven't seen him back yet. Cook, they're going to get to walk on it. Meanwhile, Andre Nation is going to take the place of Cook, even though he's got the 4 fouls.
But we can see we can see Cook on the sideline up and bouncing around. Looks like he might be all right to return. I don't think a turned ankle is going to really slow him down much. He's going to tighten up the shoestrings a little bit tighter, maybe get some tape on that ankle, get back out there for the Dukes.
I wish I had been able to see how Baptiste was walking on that ankle because, you know, he appears better than he did originally, but has still not come into play. And he's 10.3 points per game. He's a huge contributor, 72% free throw shooter. Very, very big competitor here for the Blue Hens. Bessick makes the first one there. So you get an opportunity at the other end of the 1-and-1. The next foul will send the Dukes for 2. That perhaps is good news.
You can see in that shot, the empty seat right there beside Greg Warner, strength and conditioning coach, is vacant now, and Cook is back in the actual normal rotation of things on the bench. So it looks like he's good to go back in whenever he's ready.
Working it around is Delaware now. JMU with the 2-point lead, 59-57 after Bessick checked in with his 9th point of the game. Shot missed, pulled down by Vodanovich. Cross court now to Curry by Nation.
So in the lineup for the Dukes, Curry, Semenov, Vodanovich, Nation, and Bessick. Vodanovich and Nation both with 4. Curry, Semenov with 2, and Bessick with 1.
Curry now with it, working against 3. Inside to Nation. Nation looking to go inside the paint, but instead will kick it out to Curry. Now Nation, turn around. He'll put it up, and he's fouled. Basket counts.
Good play by Andre Nation. He didn't like how Sadler was lined up on his back originally. Kicked it back out to Curry. There you see. Then he gets a better position. Sadler was not ready for the ball to come back to Nation that quick, and Nation exploited the combo and went right to the basket.
So Nation goes to the line for one more. After the basket counts, it's now 61-57. Nation wants to extend the lead, and he can't do it. Off the front of the rim, Bessick almost had the rebound, but instead it ends up in the hands of the return to the floor now, Marvin King-Davis. He's got his 4 fouls. Nation, 18 points on the afternoon for JMU. Sadler working it around outside. He'll put it in for 3, and Monte Ball wants a timeout.
Monte Ross.
Why'd I say Ball? That's the running back for
the Denver Broncos.
That is. Who are they playing today, or are they playing tomorrow?
I believe they play tomorrow, but he's the backup for Mr. Noshan Moreno. Monte Ball was a good running back for Nebraska, I believe it is. Nebraska, Wisconsin, one of those red and white schools in the Big Ten.
Still have football on my mind. Sorry about that. It is. Monte Ross takes the timeout, quick 30-second timeout, as it's a 1-point game now. Delaware down by just 1, 61-60.
And before that 3, Delaware hadn't scored a field goal since 11:53 remaining in the game. So the Dukes defense had certainly stepped up, and they went on a run of their own.
Great news for JMU Dukes fans. Charles Cook returns to the lineup. Nation's going to take a seat to preserve that foul trouble. There is Monte Ross. With a win here today would be win number 100.
And he's tied for 3rd on the head coach win list with Mike Bray at the University of Delaware. Graduated from Winston-Salem State University Division II program, where he played basketball.
Now Cook trying to drive inside. Going to work back instead, then work back into the paint. Missed his own shot, got his own rebound, puts it in for 2. And that's the way to come back into the lineup with some noise. 14 points for Charles Cook.
And I think that ankle is doing just fine.
Inside to a wide open King-Davis, who will dunk it down.
So and if you're the Dukes here, you want to slow it down and run your offense. As Curry's going to do, he's going to pull it out.
Well, how interesting was it that how high tempo we were in the second half switched completely for the second half. Each team scoring just around 20 points 20 points or so from their halftime score, which was 42-40. That one in by Bessick. Taylor Bessick's got himself 11 points.
So the Dukes have put 23 points in this half, while Delaware's put in 22.
Down low is Sadler, and he will get another 2 points.
Good move.
23 on the afternoon for Devon Sadler. And, you know, Jarvis Threet is not only having a bad afternoon, but he's having an unlike him afternoon with 9 points this afternoon. With, of course, his average being 18. Foul going to be called on the Dukes.
Well, Davon Usher, he's been the big man on campus recently for Delaware. He's chipped in 19 points in that win against Hofstra, and he's reached double figures in each of the last 5 games, averaging 17.2 points during that stretch. And now you add another 17-point night and another double figure, so now make that the last 6 games, and that average is going to stay right there at 17.2 unless he adds more here.
After a brief absence, Andre Nation returns to the court in favor of Tom Bonanovich, who will head to the bench. And just as you said, Houston, probably the last 5 minutes, we were going to see Andre Nation come in to line up more full time. Foul going to be called. It is the 8th foul now on the Dukes. It's called against Andre Semenoff, his 3rd. To the line goes Davon Usher, 72% free throw shooter. Usher has really kind of stepped in, I think, instead of, well, he's got his average, but shot is up, and that one is good. Not that taking away from Usher and himself, but I think to a certain extent he's kind of stepped into the role that Threet would normally play for this Delaware team.
I'm not sure which stat line is correct. You look at the scoreboard in-house, Convocation Center, they say Usher now has 17, while our stat monitor is saying Usher has 19, and they have Threet with 11 on the scoreboard here, but on our stat monitor they have Threet with 9.
Stolen away on the JMU side of the court. Usher's got it now. Shot is up and missed. Nation goes airborne to pull it down.
Big rebound in, and he's got to stay in for the Dukes for the final 4.5 minutes.
Cook tried a 3 over in the other end. Anderson will pull it down.
And now Sadler looks like he's going to slow it down a little bit for Delaware with their 1-point lead and 4 minutes remaining in the ball game.
Both teams, when they have their respective leads, I'm sure going to try and take the air out of the basketball. Sadler working it around to Threet now. Puts the shot up to King Davis. Bessick got the rebound.
Cook is out and running.
Cook puts the shot up, missed it. King Davis rebound. Cook fell down again but gets back up. Usher now wants a 3-point shot. He's got it.
And that might just about take the air out of this building. Fans are unhappy. And that's going to call Matt Brady to get a timeout.
So Brady takes the team timeout.
Quick up and back, and there you see Sadler just working his magic, getting to the basket. Here you see Delaware running the floor again. And then Usher for 3.
So Usher, 5 of 10 from beyond the arc, 7 of 15 overall in field goals, plus another 3 points at the line. And Threet, going off of what we are seeing on our stat sheets, 3 of 17 from the field with 9 points. So I would certainly call that a quiet day for Jarvis Threet. Regardless, again, we're having a little differences between our stat sheets and the in-house scorekeeping system, which if you've ever been to the Convocation Center, you know they keep it on the scoreboards here. And they are saying that Threet has 11 points. But either way, it's a quiet night for Jarvis Threet.
And Davon Usher, Getting a transfer from Mississippi Valley State, playing really well for Delaware in his first matchup against the Dukes.
Curry wanted that 3 from the top of the key, won't get it. 3 rebounds and will slow everything down here. 3:19 to go, and the 4-point lead in favor of the Blue Hens, 69-65.
This reminds me a lot of the game against Detroit in the home opener for the Dukes, where they controlled the game for the most part, but then could not finish it late. The 3-ball, though, I've said it many times, it's been the difference tonight for Delaware. The Dukes just cannot get one to fall.
3 going to drive inside the paint. Foul call. This one I'm sure going to be against Semenoff, which would be his 4th. And indeed it is. Andre Semenoff, his 4th foul. It's going to be JMU's 9th. And with that, we come to our final timeout here in this ball game. You see the foul called against Semenoff, so some free throws are coming when we come on the other side of this break. 69-65, Delaware leading, 2:52 to go on the Matazone HD Sportsnet, presented by JMU Alumni Association. Back in a moment.
I knew going to JMU would be more about just getting a master's.
I just knew that it was the place for me.
I feel as though that I'm a part of the institution.
You will never meet a stranger. Everyone is always willing to help you out and to help you through your graduate experience here at James Madison University.
The graduate school here is a great choice.
The education that you receive is top-notch.
It's one of the best in the country. And from here, everything is possible.
That's Coach Mike Dean there. Not really, but the big-headed version. The real Coach Mike Dean trying to get the team fired up now for this last 2:52. 4-point lead, Delaware leads the Dukes. And certainly I think, without a doubt here in the second half, everything is kind of slowed down as compared to what we saw in the first half, which just seemed like a rush of back and forth.
In the first half, Delaware had 35 shots put up. They shot 12 of 35. In the second half, they're 10 of 29. So right there again at the 34 percentile, but still a lot more. They got 6 more shots in the first half, but we still have 2:52 remaining. And then for the Dukes, they shot 17 of 35 in the first half for 48.6%. They're down to 34% in the second half, 8 of 23. And for the game, they're at 43%, 25 of 58.
Final 2:52 will tell all. Houston was telling you before the break, the Dukes have had slight issues with kind of closing out games to a certain extent. In fact, in that Charleston game, second half, it was a 12-0 run that doomed the Dukes. And that's what they have to prevent here, is just a rash of scoring where possible and play. You know, it's going to be obviously difficult because to play, you know, good defense with basically no room for any fouls, obviously very tough situation for the Dukes, because now you send Jarvis Threet to the line. He's had a fairly quiet night.
And that just comes along with being a young basketball team. It's going to be tough to finish games out, but it's something they're going to have to get over the hump eventually.
4 fouls now on Semenoff. That's the foul that sent Threet to the line. Threet makes another 2. I think I've got him down as 13. I'm going to go with 13 as his number. 13 points for Threet. Still a low-scoring night for Threet, considering his average is 18 points a game. Nation from the top of the key will put it in.
He got a friendly roll here in the Convocation Center, and the Dukes are going to need a few more of those, down 4 with 2.5 remaining.
20 points for Nation. Sadler leads all scorers with 23 points. Nation and Usher with 20 points, I should say.
And now Threet's going to really try and take the air out of the basketball. He's just going to keep it up in midcourt.
Threet now with 10 seconds on the shot clock.
He wants isolation. He wants to take Nation right to the basket and foul Nation out.
And Nation with the block, but blocked it into the hands of King Davis as the shot clock is going. Sadler puts a shot up, an ugly shot, but it does get to the rim before the end of the shot clock violation. Now we see the other side here. Delaware's trying to take the air out of the basketball. JMU wants shots like that where Nation goes quickly to the basket into the paint. He is fouled. He'll go to the line.
And that will be the 5th foul on Marvin King Davis. So he's going to be fouled out of the ball game, but he's set up to take the charge. He just leaned away from it. He was set up perfect position. He could have took it if Nation would have went a little bit stronger to the basket, and if he would have took the contact a little bit better than he did. He kind of shied away from it a little bit, and that's why he got the block foul rather than the charge.
So Marvin King Davis, who today, 6 points for him, fouled out and will be replaced.
He finished with 6 points, 8 rebounds, 3 offensive, 5 defensive. Had 1 turnover and 1 steal.
Devon Pinkard will come in, who himself is in foul trouble with 4.
And he's only played 8 minutes in this ball game, so about every 2 minutes he's getting a foul.
Andre Nation at the line, potentially closing the gap here. He'll do it on the first shot.
So cut the lead down to 3 for the Blue Hens.
He'll get one more. That shot is good as well. Cuts the lead to just 2. Now time for some,
big free throws for Andre Nation. He had them hit them.
Big possession here for the JMU Dukes, especially defensively.
We'll see if the Delaware Blue Hens learned from what they did last possession. It looks like they might try and run their regular offense rather than letting the shot clock run all the way down. Then you're forced to throw up a bad shot if a good defense is played.
Threet almost in an isolation situation as he went to the basket for a layup, but then a foul going to be called. It's going to be charged against Ron Curry. Curry's got 3.
Again, he's all smiles. That's his game. I mean, it would not surprise me for Delaware to literally play 4 corners, everybody take their defender out, and let Threet go one-on-one to the basket, because that is his game. He likes to do that. He likes to draw contact. And again, he makes his living at the foul line, but he misses one there.
Rare miss for Jarvis Threet. 5 of 5 today before that shot, now 5 of 6. And overall, 70%. He'll make the second one, but that still leaves this as a 3-point game for the JMU Dukes to work with the minute 18 that remains on the clock.
They can't rush and try and get a 3. They just need to work the ball around, run the regular offense, and get what the defense allows you to get, whether it's 2, whether it's 3. Just score on this possession with 1 minute remaining in the game.
Curry going to work it around and timeout. Matt Brady, that was taking a little bit too much time to set everything up. So Brady going to take the timeout with 1 minute left, 15 on the shot clock, and they're going to hopefully draw up a play that's going to get them a good shot off, whether it be a 3 or a 2, as you said, Houston. Something. You can't come up with an empty possession right now.
If I'm Matt Brady, I'm not going with the 3 yet. I could see the Dukes trying to get a 3 look just because they're young, and I could see them really trying to take the shot a little immature.
But today has not been the day for the 3.
Exactly. The season hadn't been the season for the 3. I say pound it down low. That's what got you this point. Stick with it. Give it to the big man. Let them do their business on the block and see what can happen from there. You at least get one back. You go down to the other end. Another free throw missed. It's still a 2-point game, and you're right there not needing a 3. And if they do go down, make 2 free throws, or they score on offense, you're still down 3, 1 possession, and you get the open 3.
And there's always a potential that you don't necessarily send Threet to the line, and you maybe send somebody else.
Or you get a stop on defense, because you don't necessarily have to foul right now.
So working around is Curry. He needs somewhere to go with the basketball with 6 seconds on the shot clock. Cook needs to shoot it with 3 left. He's got a 3 opportunity. It's missed. Out of bounds, and it's going to be a Delaware possession.
And that is not how you come out of a timeout. And Coach Brady is not happy. They did not get a look. Great defense, though, by Delaware. You have to give credit to Delaware on the defense. But that's not the look Matt Brady was looking for. A scramble for the ball and an off-balance step to the side 3. I guess Cook was smart enough to realize if you're going to be out that far, you might as well take the 3 rather than a foot on the line 2.
So guarding Threet now, they're going to make 3. They're going to have to foul Threet if they're going to foul him. And Nation says, somebody else come foul him because I can't. Vodanovich is going to be the one to have to foul him. And either way, you were losing somebody there. You just didn't want it to be Nation.
And that took way too long. I don't know what the Dukes were going for. they had this shot clock still on, so they would have got the ball back if they would have came up with a defensive stop, and it's only a 3-point game. So they could have played it that way, but they took a lot of time off. If they decided they were going to foul, they needed to know that right when they came out of the timeout and fouled immediately as soon as Threet got rid of the basketball.
So Tom Vodanovich officially fouled out of the basketball game. Seminoff will return to the court. First one is in for Sadler, and now puts this at a 4-point game. Sadler leading all scorers, 24 points for Devon Sadler. His average of 20.8 met and exceeded in today's game. Second one is in for Sadler, and that certainly is going to take all of the air out of this building with 26 seconds left, a 74-69 5-point game. Blue Hens leading.
Before that foul, nothing was needed but a defensive stop, but now that they did foul and they sent Delaware to the line and they made their foul shots, it's now going to be more of a let's extend this ball game. It's going to be a lot of fouling now. And JMU's going to have to get some quick looks. As you see there, Matt Brady is putting it on the board, and it looks like they might be going to Andre Nation. He gave him the pat on the chest, so we'll see if they go to Nation.
Well, certainly when Threet was over here on the corner closest to us here at the press table, nobody was guarding him. And then Nation started walking towards him when we reached about the 20, 30-second mark, I would say. Nation then backs up, says somebody else needs to come foul him. I can't foul him. And then that was when you saw everybody start rushing for Threet. Threet passes off. That wasted another at least 4 seconds. Here comes Curry. Ron Curry going to get fouled and miss the shot, so only the opportunity for 2 here.
But he does go to the line. Very good, aggressive drive to the basket. I like what I saw from Curry there. Got the screen from Bessick.
Pinkard's 5th foul, so he's fouled out of the game. Devon Pinkard, 5 fouls, no points. Just took the 1 shot. Did grab a rebound.
And Monte Ross has 20 seconds to figure out what he's going to do. And we'll see who he motions to come in.
It's going to be Casman Hayes. Hayes, the 6'4" freshman from Charlotte, North Carolina, will come in place of the fouled out Pinkard. Meanwhile, Ron Curry at the line, 69% free throw shooter. His shot will fall.
And Delaware has played 11 players off their bench tonight. So 11 Delaware Blue Hens have seen action.
Second one will go in. So 3-point ball game, 19.5 seconds left. Big key here, I would think, is make sure Nation doesn't foul anybody. Same thing with Seminoff. Don't make sure that Andre Seminoff doesn't foul anybody. Jackson Kent is in the game. Tough defense on Threet, and Nation is going to foul.
And Nation took one for the team there. He knew the foul had to occur quick, so he went ahead and did it before too much time ran off the clock.
So Andre Nation will sacrifice himself with that foul. His 5th of the ball game. 2 shots coming at the other end of the court for Delaware here, with the 3-point advantage going for the Blue Hens. But yeah, only about 2 seconds off the clock there when Nation elected to commit the foul. So Andre Nation fouled out, and they replace Nation back in. Bessick will return to the court. So on the court for the Dukes now, Jackson Kent, Andre Seminoff, Taylor Bessick, Charles Cook, and Ron Curry.
The plus at that lineup, though, is there's 4 guys that can hit a 3. Bessick will probably hit one, but we don't want Bessick to take the 3.
Jarvis Threet to shoot, and he makes the first one. Puts us back at a 4-point game, so 2-possession game. Unless the unimaginable happens and a foul occurs on a made 3-point shot. Could matter not here if Threet makes the second one, which he doesn't. Bessick with the rebound, so 15 seconds and counting. Here's Ron Curry up court. Ron wants to drive, he's fouled, and the shot is good. Basket will count plus 1 more.
And they do count the basket. I was making sure before we said anything. So this completely changes everything.
I had the referee right in front of me, and he said this. He went 2 counts. Thank you very much, sir. And Ron Curry will go to the line.
So they do count the basket.
Ron Curry, potential to make this a 1-point game if he makes another free throw. Curry, 4 of 6 from the line. Curry's shot is good. It's a 1-point ball game with 11 seconds to go. Full court pressure for the Dukes. Inbound goes to Threaton. Threaton is fouled. Who do they call it on?
Probably, we'll say Curry was the first one there.
I think he was as well.
Unless they give it to Kent.
No, they did give it to Curry. Curry's 4th. So on the way to the other side of the court, but this changes everything. As you said, Houston, being now a 1-point game, you can only come away with a 3-point game if he makes both of them, if Threet makes both of them.
And that's 10 seconds. You get across half court, timeout by Matt Brady, and you set up a 3.
Jarvis Threet at the line. He's missed one each time he went to the line. Make it now. He's missed one each of the last 3 times he's been to the line.
So a little bit more pressure, and if he misses this one, you got to get across half court very quick, and Matt Brady's got to have a play drawn up with a timeout. And this Convocation Center is rocking.
Makes the second one. 2-point game, 76-74. Curry up court, timeout.
As I said, once he got across half court, timeout called. 7 seconds to set up a 2. I don't say go for the win here.
You don't even need the 3 at this point.
Let's go for the 2 to go into overtime, which I believe if we look back at one of our scores from our previous CAA game, the overtime game, Northeastern and Drexel, it was 76-76 when it went into overtime there. Don't know if that means anything, but just wanted to throw it out there.
We don't know if it means anything, but we're just throwing that idea out there for you.
It'd be very nice here.
7.7 seconds, 76-74. Blue Hens lead the Dukes. Timeout there, as you said, taken. JMU still with 2 timeouts, actually.
And there you see the missed free throw. The Minions behind the basket may have caused that one in the pep band. But you look at the 5 that's on the court right now for the Dukes. Curry, Cook, Kent, Simonov, and Bessick. Curry has 14, Cook has 14, Simonov has 11, Bessick has 11, Kent has 2. So, in my opinion, you have 4 players you can get it into. You don't want to put Kent in this shot, this play late as a freshman. But, hey, if he can hit it, give it to him. But you have Simonov, Bessick, Curry, and Cook, 4 players in double figures that you can get the ball to.
Cook's going to be the one to inbound it here. Yeah, I'm just kind of amazed. Each of the last 3 times he went to the line, there's Jarvis Threet, number 4 there on in and all of your screen. Each of the last times he missed it. Wait a second now. Timeout. Timeout trying to be called by Monte Ross, but my screen shows that he didn't have a timeout to call.
Which could be a technical foul.
Would that be amazing? No, I guess our
Michigan and
wrong.
North Carolina back in the day, remember the timeout called by the Fab Five that allowed North Carolina to win the national championship.
I guess our screens are not participating with us today.
And now it says -1 in the timeout column. So I guess our screens are off, but I was thinking of a Michigan Fab Five finish where
it would have been wild, would it not? But unfortunately, yeah, the screens are incorrect here. And folks, unfortunately, we rely a little bit too much on technology down here when we can't be right next to the scores table and see all these things for us in person. Of course, there's someone over there that's keeping track of all of these things.
The team reset, though, both teams have 13 fouls, so both teams are in double bonus. So any type of foul here by Delaware, if you're JMU, you might even try and draw a foul before you inbound the ball.
Potentially could happen here as well.
It's not something unheard of, but if I'm Matt Brady, I might try and go to Bessick low or maybe even Simonov on a back down move. He's got to work quickly, though, only 7 seconds. We'll see what they can draw, and they are inbounding the ball behind the basket, so it's always an opportunity for the lob, like they beat Delaware with last year. Just saying. We'll see. Oh, never mind. It's on the sideline now.
Cook is to inbound with 7 seconds. Gets it into Curry. Curry tries to drive. Baseline, and no foul called as that heads out of bounds. No foul was called as Curry went up to the basket from the paint. Wow. So no foul called as Ron Curry tried to put a shot up there. Take a look at the sequence again.
Yep. It looked like there was some arm on number 0 there. That's Davon Usher.
So foul has been called after the inbound. I believe it's going to be called against Cook. So his 4th, he's still okay. That'll send Casman Hayes to the line. Hayes only has shot 9 free throws up until this point. He's made 8 of them.
And look at the arm there. The arm right there is clearly a foul if you're looking at it on replay, but they don't have a replay to look at over there, which they can go to. They can go to the monitor under 2 minutes to look at a foul like that.
Hayes misses the first one, so that still makes it a 1-possession game, even if he makes the second one. Problem is now you have 2.2 seconds.
The thing, if you're James, you got to throw a fast pass to half court, call the timeout at half court. Or you just got to hope you can make a half court shot. If I was him, I'd have missed that free throw on purpose. I'm surprised Monte Ross didn't get that message to him, because the ball would be in play when it went off the rim. And it's tough to set up a play with 2 seconds when the ball is coming off the rim.
2 seconds are left. 77-74, 3-point game. Delaware leading JMU. They'll have to inbound it from the opposite baseline.
So they're going to set some type of screen. If I'm the coach right here, I'm setting up a screen to get my guy to collect the basketball just past half court. Because when you call the timeout at half court, that's when you get to inbound it on the sideline, and you get a little bit better option to take the 3. It's going to be tough with 2.2 seconds. You just got to catch timeout, maybe take 0.3 seconds off the clock. That gives you 1.9, gives you a chance to get a good shot off. As long as they get a timeout on our side of the floor before 0.3 seconds, because after 0.3 seconds, or by NCAA rule, you have to have at least 0.3 seconds to get a shot off. So interesting numbers. We'll see what JMU does, and they got 3 guys lined up on our end of the court, and it looks like they're going to set some type of screen to get a deep pass.
And that's exactly what they do. Deep pass is going to be to Cook, but it's intercepted. And foul on Cook. That'll be Charles Cook's 5th one. And Siminoff with a long pass got intercepted.
Intercepted, to say the least, and I guess that's why he's not the quarterback of the football team today.
Indeed. Certainly Everett Withers in the house taking a look at what he hopes his team does not do, and that was just a tough situation for the Dukes to work around. It is Davon Usher at the line now with a 3-point game, 0.9 seconds remaining.
So there's time to get a shot off, though, if he does miss both of these free throws. But it's going to have to hope for a long rebound, and you catch it in stride and shoot it from half court.
Usher's first one is missed.
So still a ball game. Seen crazier things happen before.
Certainly. My screen does still show also that 1 timeout remains for the Dukes.
So they can call a timeout right here.
Usher makes it a
4-point game.
4-point game. Long shot from Curry for good measure, but that will end the ball game. Delaware 78, James Madison 74. It was exciting at the end, but that final drive by Ron Curry, where there was no foul called, I think will remain. If we gave away a play of the game, that would be a play of the game, certainly.
And here you see it again. But look at the hands by Usher. You see they come in right there. And they just get Curry right there on the arm. Clearly a foul, but nothing called on the sideline. And that was the foul. That could have been 2 foul shots, and it would have been a completely different ball game.
Remember, at that point, it was a 1-point game, so completely different ball game. Again, as Houston just said, if we're dealing with what was a foul at the time. So, well, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll recap the game. It is a 78-74 loss for the JMU Dukes. The Dukes will go to 6-11 on the season, 1-2 in the CAA. The Blue Hens moved to 10-7 overall, 2-0 in the CAA. Come on back, and we'll wrap everything up for you after we give you this message here on the Matazone HD Sportsnet, presented by the JMU Alumni Association.